Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to A Ship Called Relation. I'm your host, Jason Galka, and if you ever gone on a disastrous date, or you can never seem to make it to that second date, or maybe you're just looking for love in all the wrong places, if you've nodded yes to any of those three things, well, kiss those days goodbye. On today's show, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about dating with the help of professional matchmaker Maureen Tara Nelson, and my fabulous panel here. Brittany is joining me today, and we have a very special guest, Vaughn, who is also joining us today. Good morning, everybody. Great to see you all.
Good morning. Good morning,
Happy
Jason.
to have you here with us today. So I'm excited about today's show because it's all about dating 101. We're going to be talking about going out on this first date. And Maureen, since you are a professional matchmaker, you're going to be helping us out with advice. And we're also going to be talking about dating strategies as well.
Great.
Pros and cons to online dating. As well. So we got a lot to talk about today. But Jimmy, I'm actually going to start with you first because you're our special guest today.
Thank you.
Now tell us your story because we were talking a little bit before the show. You're having some trouble finding the right one. Tell us your story.
The problem was right away. I was married for 31 years. My wife passed away 3 years ago at the age of 51. So this is all new to me. I'll give you an example. I met this lady in Roslyn, and she told me she was 49 years old. She ended up being 65, 70 years old.
Wow.
Then I got to the restaurant. She told me she was a hairdresser to the stars, and she just came from Meg Ryan's house. We sat there the whole night. She kept touching me. She's dropping a fork. She wasn't a hairdresser to the stars. So this is just one of my many experiences.
Wow.
Then I actually had another girl a couple of weeks ago that told me she wanted to be eye candy, and if I bought her a BMW, she would actually move in with me. But eventually she wanted me to send her to school.
Oh,
so these are just a few of the experiences I have right now. I mean, I have hundreds of them.
So where are you meeting these women? Let's start with that.
I met some in LA Fitness. I work for an armored car company. I met some ladies at the bank. I met somebody in the 7-Eleven, Starbucks. People say I'm going to the wrong places, but I really don't want to go to bars.
Right.
So I find it hard. I don't like that atmosphere. So I'm just looking for somebody nice, somebody that actually has a job, maybe even a car, because some of these young girls don't.
This is true. This is true. So you actually do prefer to date younger women as opposed to women in your own age group, which I find funny, but let's talk about that for a little bit. How young is young for you?
I dated, when my wife first passed away, a girl that was 12 years younger. For some reason, I went a little younger. I actually dated a 25-year-old for a while, and she was the one that wanted me to buy her the BMW. But she said, actually, I don't know why. And then she actually said to me, you know what? You don't even have to buy me a new one. You could buy me one that's 2 years old, but I want black. So after I told her no, I never heard from her again.
Wow. Unbelievable. And you met her in the gym atmosphere,
I met her in the gym, too.
Okay.
Then I had another lady I was taking out. We were going for dinners, manicures, pedicures. She calls me one night and says, I want to continue going out with you. I like your lifestyle, but I have no attraction towards you. This was actually a blind date. So I was a little taken back by that. So I said, I'll see you in a couple of hours. Then I'm saying to myself, you're not going to see this girl in a couple of hours. You know, it had to set in.
Right.
So I'm doing the best I can, and it's just hard to find somebody that's nice. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm looking for, somebody that's a genuine person.
We get a lot of those stories, actually. I mean, we do our little game Sink or Swim, which we're not going to do today only because we have so much information to get out there today. But, Maureen, this is your area of expertise. Since we have Jimmy here, let's kind of use him as an example.
Help me.
Well, Jimmy, you seem like a wonderful man, and you're a great catch from what I could see and what I've heard before. But some of the things you're saying contradict each other. On one hand, you're saying the right things. You're looking for a nice woman that will love you and all, you know, have the same interests, be compatible, all those things that are correct. Then on the other hand, you're saying, I would love a younger woman. Now, 10 years is appropriate for most men, that they can go younger 10 years, and most women are open to that. But the 25-year-old girl, and you seem surprised at what happened when you dated or tried to date a 25-year-old girl.
I wasn't surprised.
Okay.
I wasn't surprised.
Right
I knew
away,
it was coming.
Okay, so right away, don't waste your time, because you see, time is very valuable and it goes by so quickly.
It does go by very
fastly. So don't
fastly.
waste your time with anyone younger than 10 years, because it's not going to work. They're either going to be a gold digger or want to be arm candy. So what?
That was her
I'm
exact words.
25.
Yes.
I'm not a gold digger.
I'm
just kidding.
You're
If you
25?
if you
Yeah.
hit on
Talk to
Jimmy,
me
you
later.
would be, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, that's my point.
I would be doing
So,
it for all the wrong reasons.
You should stick to the first part of what you said, that you're looking for a really nice quality person.
Yes.
And if that's the case, I can certainly help you as
I
a
want you to help me.
matchmaker.
I'm looking for somebody that's nice. Nice is very important to me. My wife was nice. She was wonderful.
And what was her age? in
Nancy was
relation-
5 years younger than me.
Okay, great.
There you go.
See?
Yeah.
That's true
she
love.
passed at 51.
I'm sorry
And that was
for
3 years ago, so she would have been 54 now. And we were married 31 years, so now we would have been married 34 years.
Wow.
It was the love of my life, of course. So now it's
Absolutely.
going to be very hard. I trusted her so much. The girls I've been dating over the last 3 years, after a couple of dates, I really don't trust them. And I don't know if that's a gut feeling. I don't know if that's good.
And that takes time.
Yeah,
Right.
trust
And you
does
have
take
to
time.
be compatible with them first.
Yes, I try. Yeah,
Well, compatibility isn't something that you can try because you don't want to change yourself.
right.
But
You either
also,
are or
I
you're
don't mean to
not.
interject, but also, spending that amount of time with one person all those years, I mean, you never really had a lot of dating experience either, so maybe you don't really exactly know how to date,
Right.
right?
Don't.
And
It's-
we do dating coaching in my matchmaking program, so I would be helping you along every step of the
And
way.
it's very hard to find somebody. Where do you find them? People say I should go to bars.
No,
No,
never.
I don't
that's-
really
we
like
talked about that.
drinkers.
We don't.
And a lot of time you go to a bar and that's what it's all about is
Right.
drinking. If I drink, I'll have one beer. I'm not really a drinker. So what do you do in a case like this?
Right.
Hobbies.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, we did a show similar to this a few weeks ago where we said the bar scene for us personally is out. We talked about doing hobbies or joining groups
I
or.
play golf. I go to the golf course.
But
I'm
who
in
you
the
playing
gym
with? You're
all the
playing with
time.
men, right?
Most of the time I play with them. I did play with some lady the other day. She was 75 years old. Believe it or not, she was actually better than me. But that's another
Okay,
story.
then let's talk about that. Like, what happened with that? I mean, how did the conversation go? I mean, were you interacting together?
Actually, I was there with my brother, and she was there, and me and my brother was actually driving, and she was walking, and she was carrying a bag, so she was really amazing.
Wow.
So we had fun with her, and we talked. You talk to everybody, small talk on a golf course, but that's exactly what it was. It was an enjoyable day out in fresh air, playing golf. I actually played good that day for a change.
But what happened with the lady? I mean, did you ever exchange numbers or contact
I had
information?
no interest in,
No.
Because of her
Okay.
age.
because, exactly.
But what is it about that, if you don't mind me asking, why do you prefer women a little bit younger than your age group?
Because a lot of women my age, they don't really take care of themselves.
Okay.
And as they get older, and I notice also when men get older, we get more mellow. When women get older, they get, I'm sorry, this is my opinion, they get angry at the world because they were already burnt a couple of times.
Ooh.
It's only, but then again,
Jimmy,
but then
Jimmy,
again,
Jimmy.
but then again, this is only
don't say this on
my
dates.
opinion.
Okay, but it's
And-
based on what he's experienced. So okay.
This is
That
what I
is a great
experienced.
question, and if I can
Sure,
interject,
absolutely.
the first thing you said about this 75-year-old woman was she was better than you at golf.
She was,
She
absolutely.
carried everything. So if you didn't know her age, she was fit. So you can't say, I didn't want to date her because she was old, and when women get old, they're not as active as I am. She was more active than you were.
She was
And
active.
See, so you can't use that excuse. Age
Yes.
is just a number. And
Well,
the
that's-
day that
Unless
men
you're 25.
will say, I don't care about age, I'm going to go strictly on compatibility, and vice versa, everyone will see an increase in their dating
You're right,
life.
but I do actually spend a lot of time in the gym. So I want somebody that's in good shape too. I really do.
Wasn't she in good shape if she was able to carry that?
Yeah,
That
I
lady's
don't even
in-
think I could carry that. A big bag of golf
I know I
clubs.
couldn't.
The lady was actually,
Decided to be
she,
carried.
she was actually in good shape, but
Okay.
first has to be a little attraction there.
Right,
And I was just there
absolutely.
playing golf. I mean, if she was younger like you and you, I could have possibly
I think you just love him
pursued a little
young,
bit
Jimmy.
more.
That's the point, but I wanted
But
him
that's
to
okay.
say.
But
Until I meet somebody age appropriate, I might still continue to date younger girls, knowing that it's really not going to go anywhere. I'm going to be honest with you.
okay.
So what you're saying is you're okay with just wasting time instead of focusing your time
And money.
and money on
And money, right,
getting to
yeah.
the point where you want to be as quickly as possible and as effectively as possible.
No, I want to meet somebody nice soon. I want somebody to share my life with, go to the gym with, play golf with, start doing a little travel. Because I was suppressed for many years because my wife was incapacitated. I didn't do anything.
But I know many women that go to the gym that are, you know, around your age group or even slightly younger than that are fit. I mean, there's nobody in I mean, I think the gym is a great place to meet somebody.
In my program, there are ladies in their 50s that will run circles around you, and that's a good thing.
This is the girl I want to meet.
Yeah, well, I have
There we go.
1,200 clients. So I think there might be a misconception, or maybe you just never thought of a matchmaker before. But that's why people come to me, because they do have high expectations. My only concern with you is forget so much about the age and think more about the compatibility. And in my program, in particular, we do it all for you.
Well, that's great what you have. I was on some of these free dating sites.
Oh, that's
And
different.
I go there, and one lady told me she was a court officer. I showed up, it was 90 degrees. She was wearing a winter coat. She looked like she looked like she was homeless. And she was on disability. This lady was never a court officer.
Right.
So these are the kind of different stories you get. And the pictures they put up there, you show up, they might be 100 pounds heavier, or it could be a picture from 20 years ago. And the one lady says to me, well, everybody lies about their age. I said, I'm not lying about my age.
Right. On the internet, they do that.
Right.
Right.
On the
They
internet,
do it,
lie.
believe me.
Yes.
When
That's
I
one of
walked
the
into
things
that
we're
one
gonna
place
get
in
into very
Roswell,
shortly.
and that lady told me she was 49, and I told you she was 65,
Yes, I know.
she could have even been older.
I
Yeah.
hear this all
Believe
the
you.
time.
I've
every
heard
day.
horror stories of online dating sites and stuff because you really just don't know what you're going to get.
No,
it's like
you
a
don't.
consistent blind date. The way I see a matchmaker, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's like having a friend there to set
Yes.
you up who says, I know this person, I know what they look like, I know who they are, and I know you, and I know what you look like, and I know who you are, and I'm saying you two would be great together. It's like a professional friend.
That's exactly, no, that's really, that would work.
So that's why it's way different than online because there's no surprises really. And I mean,
Sure.
there are some surprises, but good ones.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's the
yes.
fun part of
Right.
dating.
I mean, we don't want to rule out online dating because there are
Yeah.
also success stories as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
But it's like Brittany was saying, like it's like just hitting it just right. That's what's hard, and I think that's what we need to help Jimmy with here is hitting it just right, right? But we do have a little surprise for you. Would you like to let him
Yes.
know what we're going to do for him today on today's show?
Yes.
I'm ready.
Courtesy of Jason and his show, you are receiving a free membership to MTN Matchmaking.
Well, that's excellent. I am so
Welcome
excited. I am so
aboard.
excited by this. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Success.
So I'm
We're gonna
looking
help
for.
you.
So I'm actually looking for my future ex-wife.
No.
Okay, you're out. I take that.
That was a joke.
I know,
That's a
I
joke.
know. have a
Now you
very
want your
good sense of
current
humor.
wife. You know, you want to spend the rest of your life
I'm
with
looking for somebody
somebody.
to spend the rest of my life.
I mean,
with.
you're not looking. I mean, you
Absolutely.
obviously you loved your first wife that
Oh,
passed
I
away,
couldn't
and you're not
love
looking
anybody
to
more.
replace her. But you
She
certainly
can't be
have
replaced, but
no.
I could start new.
But you're
and
certainly-
find somebody else to love.
Correct.
A new chapter.
Yeah.
Who's compatible to you and who you have chemistry with.
How old?
You can go up to 10 years younger.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
Okay.
And everyone is screened first that when we meet them, they're a nice, decent, quality, positive person. They're emotionally stable, they're financially stable, and they're looking for a committed relationship. And we do all the work for you.
I like that.
You'll be compatible in 3 different ways, and they'll also have your 5 must-haves, which right away I bet you're going to say you want someone active, beautiful,
Yes.
in great shape,
Yeah.
loving,
Nice.
and affectionate.
Right. Just all those things, and
Yes.
just a nice person. It's
Yes.
very hard to
All
find a
those
nice
things make a
person.
nice person.
All of
Absolutely,
my
it's all
clients are
the package
nice.
deal.
Yes, that's just a given.
And you have
really.
a huge inventory,
I have
Maureen, so no
1,200
doubt,
amazing
Yeah.
no
clients.
doubt something's going to come of this.
You're all invited to the wedding.
You should
Yeah.
have a show maybe in a couple of months to see your progress.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we
you
could
have
do
to
a
take my
follow-up.
advice. Will you do that?
Absolutely, positively, without a doubt.
Okay,
great.
Excellent.
Yes, thank you.
Yay, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Excellent. So Maureen, thank you so much for doing this, by the way, and for being here and sharing this with all of us. But let's also talk about some of the online dating pros and cons, because yes, there are horror stories, but then there's also success stories. And then there's people that just don't know how to put that profile together. So then they are meeting the wrong people, or they're not getting the attraction to the profile. What's your advice on that?
Well, unfortunately, after matchmaking for 14 years, I only hear the horror stories. So I would love to be able to say, you don't have to invest in a private matchmaker. Spend $30 a month doing the internet. But because of hearing on a consistent basis how horrendous it is, how everyone lies, how it's a waste of time, it's hard for me to find anything good about it. But to answer your question, if you cannot afford a matchmaker, and we are very affordable, and we have 4 different programs. But if you have to, say if you're not ready for a committed relationship, then go on the internet.
Okay.
And if you're going to go on the internet, have a friend that can do a background check on the person before you meet them, because we do a criminal felony background check on every single client in every single state.
That's
so
great.
have a friend do that. Put up a recent photo. Don't lie. Don't lie about your age, because you're going to go on a date and the guy is going to see you, or vice versa, and you'll never get a second date. So you're wasting both of your time. And time is something we can't get that back. I'm a big believer in not wasting time. So post an accurate photo, say clearly what you want, be safe, have a friend be at that place, in fact. Say if you're going to meet for drinks, and keep it something that we're only going to meet for drinks. Have someone there just in case. And I think if you do that, you'll have fun getting your feet wet, as long as you're being
Because
safe.
you're taking a lot of nerve off of there. And I think that's part of the reason like people don't reach that second date, is because there's so many don'ts that they're doing.
But you have to be cognizant of that, otherwise it is dangerous. But I think if you follow those strategic rules of being safe, and if you're not ready for that committed relationship, it'll get you back into the dating process, so that when you're ready for the committed relationship, you'll know exactly where to go.
Excellent.
And it'll be easy.
Great. So can we talk a little bit about those do's and don'ts when we finally meet that person, either through you or an online dating site? Now we're ready to go on this first date. What are your suggestions? What are the do's and the don'ts?
Okay. Oh, I wish I would have brought my form in.
I have one that I would just like to say.
Yes, go ahead.
This one's for men. Stop bragging about yourself. Stop. I mean, if I ask you a question about a specific quality of yourself or your job or something, that's fine. I've asked you. But do not come out on this first date being like, I do this and I have this, and pull out a wad of cash to pay the bill. I don't care.
I'd rather stroke their ego than stroke my own.
Perfect.
This is what I like to do.
Okay.
That's perfect.
One of the do's that I say to everyone, and you'll have this in written form as well, is to find out 5 great things about that person. So this way you can't be talking the whole time about yourself, because you'll never get to know what 5 great qualities are about that person.
Exactly.
But that's one of them. The second one I recommend is to keep the first date short and sweet, perhaps an hour to an hour and a half, and keeping it simple. Maybe going out for a drink or 2 maximum,
I like
or lunch or
Starbucks
brunch.
sometimes. Is that all right?
Well, I don't recommend that, only because the atmosphere is not conducive to a quality meeting of someone for the first time. There's too many dynamics of kids around computers, Wi-Fi, people doing work, this and that.
It's not a very intimate
Distractions.
Right.
So go for lunch or brunch on the weekend. Perfect.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Then also be very positive and be your best. And you should be doing that just in life in general if you want a great job, if you want a great life, but also, in my case, for my clients, if you want a great partner. You have to be at your best. You have to be a positive person. So absolutely never any negativity on the date. And I have to skip to the don'ts right away, because the do's are easy. You know, it's very straightforward in my program. You know, short and sweet. You know, keep it simple. Be happy. Be positive. That's it. Okay. Don'ts. Don't talk about your ex. Don't
Big
try
one.
to.
Big one.
Right. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about sex. Don't talk about politics. None of that belongs on a first date.
Absolutely.
as we spoke about negativity before too, and Brittany, you're right. You know, don't be bragging, because you should be looking to find out more about that person rather than yourself, and that's a huge sign of insecurity. So you're looking to hopefully find someone that you're compatible with. Just say if you meet someone through a friend and I didn't make sure you're compatible, you have to find that out for yourself, and you won't know unless there's a positive dialogue back and forth where you're getting to know each other's interests. Excellent. So that's the big key. First date should only be talking about each other's interests.
Fantastic advice. I know we almost have to go, but if I could ask one more question, because this is a big one. People want to know what the rules are on what I refer to as callbacks. That's after, you know, after the first date, you want to know, like, who calls and how long do you wait before you call that person, and who should make that call?
Well, in my program, as you'll see, it's a very organized way of dating. This way it doesn't waste time. So I recommend that everyone gives 3 dates to a person, because everyone is nervous on the first date. By the 3rd date, you're not nervous anymore, so that's when you'll get to see the person's real personality. At the end of the date, the man should ask the lady out for her 2nd date. The next day, the lady should call up the man and thank him for being so generous on the first date.
I like to send a text that night when I go home, and I just simplify it, thank you. And then they always respond back to me.
Okay.
Is that appropriate?
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
I mean, if
that's
you're
what I like to do.
then yeah.
You won't even have to do that, though, in my program, because she'll be calling you the next day,
call me, huh?
thanking me personally. Because
That's even better.
I'm not really a big fan of texting, because there's too many things that you might think it's very passionate, and it might come across as...
It always comes up wrong when
right.
texting.
So let her call you the next day and thank you for the date.
Okay.
Good. Excellent advice. So, Maureen, you are fabulous. In fact, we have one story I want to read very quickly before we go. And this is actually one of your clients that wrote in this morning, Tina. She says, without Maureen's abilities at matchmaking, I would have never met the man of my dreams, Glenn. Maureen absolutely hit the ball out of the park in regards to this matchmaking. Glenn and I are amazingly compatible in so many ways. Sometimes I think he is the male version of me. LOL. Oh, well, that's great. So many success stories. That's just one of them.
Wow. Yes. Thank you, Tina.
Yes.
Tina is a wonderful, wonderful person. She's beautiful. She's smart. Everything a man could ever want. Glenn, and she's very positive. The most positive client that I have out of the females. Now, with my male clients, Glenn has always been the most positive client. Now, Tina was on hold for some time, so I was never able to make that match before. Tina comes off on hold. Not only do I already know that they're compatible, but I realize that they're both the most positive people in my program. So we make the match. They've had 4 fabulous dates. We've received wonderful emails of their dating escapades, and it's beautiful. This is why I'm a matchmaker. I wake up every day and thank God
it's refreshing
for the ability.
When you get stories like that, right? It's great.
And Tina and Glenn, I thank you for entrusting your love in my hands.
Nice.
And it's a pleasure to always have been working for both of you. And I'm so happy and proud that they have connected now.
Yeah.
Timing is everything. It was never right before. Now it is, and it's an instant connection.
And Jimmy, you're next. I have faith.
You know what? On my first date, you could send cameras and film it.
We should do that. We
could do that, right?
That would be great. Well, we are going to follow up with you. That's a great idea.
Yes.
We're going to follow up with you in a few months and bring you back. And your
without
new
a
love
doubt.
of your life might sit here. You never know.
That would really be nice.
So, thank you all so much for doing this today. Maureen, thank you. A pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Jimmy, thank you so much. If you have something you'd like to share with us here on A Ship Called Relations, send me an email, jason_galka@yahoo.com. Facebook, Twitter, I'm on everything. As always, I thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.